Welcome, warriors.
Yay!
Goodbye. Just kidding. We just said welcome and then goodbye. We are talking about goodbyes today, saying goodbye, but in like the lighthearted, mundane way. This is our next installment of our Mundane Anxiety Series.
Mundane Anxieties.
That's it. That's how you know it's a true mundane episode when you hear the sting.
That's it. Yeah.
We're going to be chatting today about saying goodbye, but in the lighthearted way. It's like when you are at an event and you have to say goodbye. And I guess hellos too, right? It's just going to be about it's like salutations.
Yes.
When you enter a space or a place, and then when you go ahead and exit that space or place.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like the kind of tiny anxieties that kind of can fill you a little bit when you think about the entering and the exiting.
Yeah. Because there's no written rules on entering and exiting. There's no hey, when you go to a group of people that you've never met before, this is the greeting you offer, Yeah. Hey, when you're leaving, friends and family where there's 40 people at the party, this is how you say goodbye. This is how you say goodbye when there's 5 people. It's like no one has a set of rules. Some people like hugs. Some people like high fives. Some people like handshakes. Some people don't like touching. Some people like a universal, hey, everybody, I can't introduce myself to everyone, right? Some people like the universal, all right, peace out, bye. I can't say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
And some people like introducing and saying hi to everyone, and some people like saying goodbye to everyone. So it's
navigating it is exhausting.
Yeah. And that's not even the social part in social anxiety. It's like the pre-social anxiety.
You're not even really socializing just yet, but you are, because there's other people in the space besides just you.
Right.
So there's that. It is still technically a social moment, a social activity. It's just, it is the entryway, which is sometimes the most important, right? In many ways, making a good first impression or just any kind of impression, even if it's someone you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you go about learning what everyone's preferences are when you meet a group of people? Are you like, how would you like me to greet you?
Yeah.
How would you prefer that I exit from your face, from your space?
When I'm leaving, do you want to know or should I go?
Are people going to be insulted? I think about that shit. I really do. And I've thought about it way more than I'm really comfortable with admitting sometimes. I don't usually perseverate on things I've said and done. Typically, I'm usually able to, even if I have milds that wasn't great or that was a little uncomfortable, whatever, I'm usually able to let it go faster than maybe you are, maybe some people, some fellow warriors. But sometimes this, for whatever reason, it's like that last impression that you've made on a person or that first impression that you've made. This I will think about more than the meat of a conversation sometimes.
Right.
It just seems so dumb to me that that's where my brain goes. But
we don't want to come off rude, but also we don't want to be exhausted by the interaction of greeting or goodbyes.
Or do something that you're uncomfortable with for the perceived comfort of another person.
Yes.
What if I know you, especially in COVID times, you don't really want to maybe shake a person's hand
upon
first meeting them.
Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing me. I am so grossed out by that shit. Don't touch my hand. Don't touch me. Now, at the same time, even in COVID times, when I see you, I want to attack you with a big hug.
Yes. And you did recently.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful because I wanted a big hug.
Yeah.
But so it's you get used to it with some people. You have your standard greeting with this person or with this group of people. But then with new people or with people that you know less or people you don't like very much, maybe.
Yes.
Then what?
Right.
Or oh my gosh. So really, really stupid little story. There is a member of my family who, again, will never hear this because they're in my family, in the literal sense, but we are 0% connected for, again, multiple reasons. But my sister and I used to always joke / cringe about the fact that 2 of them, not just one, from the same family, do the whole mouth kiss on a person's cheek. So when we would see them years ago for holidays and stuff, before it's little kind of falling out, they would turn their whole head and put their entire mouth on your face to kiss you hello and goodbye.
Oh my
And
God.
it's just like, that is not how, I don't care if it's your family, friend, don't put your
No.
lips on my face.
No.
Unless there's one person in the world that can do that. And that is my husband.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anyone's entire mouth. You do the air kiss, or maybe at most you get the person's chin, like, right? Maybe the side lip. Even that I don't love. Like, just air kiss me. Like,
yes.
cheek,
wait, and now
maybe.
did they expect you to do a full-on lip kiss on the cheek back?
No, not at all.
Oh,
but like
okay,
that was, but then like I had all the anxiety. We would just have the anxiety, and I'll say wait for my sister and I both because we talked about it. But like we would have all the anxiety about knowing that it was coming.
Yeah.
But feeling like you couldn't say anything to them about it out of like fear of making them feel bad, or like, but it's like goes to one of our other episodes about being an inconvenience.
Yeah.
It's just like, am I going to make myself more uncomfortable and not say anything just so that person's less uncomfortable?
Right.
So yeah, there's that. I know. I'm just remembering it. I'm just uncomfortable. It's like, get your lips off my cheek.
Right. Who said this was okay? Like, where did you learn this was
the
okay?
Rules.
Right. There's no rules. I mean, everyone should have their own rules. Like, we all carry on like us, like
sandwich board.
Yeah. This is how I like to be greeted. This is how I like to be goodbyed.
Yeah.
You know, do I know you? Yes. Okay. Do I know you well? Do I like you? Like,
right. Here's a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been insulted by the way a person, like, what is it called? A French exit or an Irish exit? Like if a person who you thought maybe you connected with just like pieces out of a situation and doesn't say goodbye. Like, have you ever been insulted by a person's lack of goodbye or their style of goodbye?
I don't think I've ever been insulted. I think like nothing is coming to mind, but I think I might have been like disappointed. Like, oh, bummer. I didn't get to say goodbye.
Same.
Right. Especially like if like I really like them, but I didn't have their information. Right. Like it was a first time meeting and we vibed. Right. And then like they left and, oh, bummer. Like maybe we can get in touch somehow. But I don't think I've ever been insulted because I personally am just exhausted by the idea of saying goodbye to a ton of people. Yeah. Right. And a ton of people could be like 7 people. Right. Like that could be a ton. It's like,
is it a ton for you?
Well, if I have to, in my saying goodbye, have to have a conversation with every single one.
Got it.
Right. If it's just like a bye, so great seeing you, you know, love you, or maybe I don't love you, but like goodbye. And I can just goodbye it. Right.
Yeah.
Then 7's not a ton. But if with every person it's like, oh yeah, so when am I going to see you again? Or when am I going to, and then I have to have a conversation with each person before actually being able to leave, then yeah, I just want to peace out. I just want to do the, like, what I do is I do a big wave and I just say, bye. Thanks so much. Maybe I'll like find the person hosting or hostessing or whatever. And I like
give them an individual goodbye.
But if they're deep in conversation, I'm not going to stand on the side like an awkward weirdo waiting for them to be done with their conversation so that I can say goodbye.
Oh, that's when I do the cut in. I do the cut. Oh yeah. Okay. Like, I'm so sorry. I just want to say goodbye quick. Thank you so much for a great night. Love you. Or even if I don't love them, right? It's like, this was amazing. I really appreciate you. Again, sorry to have interrupted. And then I peace.
I mean, that's a sweet cut in. I have done that before, but I feel like it depends on the type of conversation they're having.
No, I don't care.
Oh, you don't care?
No, because I'm leaving. And I feel like it's wrong for you to leave the host high and dry. That's one thing. That's where my manners come in. Like I need to at least give the host people, whether it's one person or multiple people, they deserve a.
How long will you look for the host?
As long as it takes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I feel like at some point I would give up and I would send them a message. Hey, we had to go. I couldn't find you, or you looked very deep in conversation. Thank you so much. So for me, and I'm not being rude, fair. I'm like, I just need to get the fuck out of here. And I can't spend a ton of time in a crowded environment. And this is like pre-COVID too. This isn't just COVID, right? Like searching for someone just so I can say goodbye when like I keep getting stopped by other people.
Totally. So that's the other thing, right? So like, I know for me, I preemptively then, if I know we have to do the long goodbye with a few people, right? And I know it's going to be at least a 1 to 2 minute conversation with each individual. Let's go with 7, since you said 7, then you have to prep for that. It's like, okay, I'm feeling like I'm wanting to peace out of here by 10 o'clock. So that means at 9:45, we start the goodbyes, right? You slowly meander towards your stuff, your coat, your keys, whatever it is. And then you do the slow goodbye. So that way by 10 p.m., right, or whatever, I'm out the door.
Right. Right.
So,
I mean, I feel like that's what I've done in the past too, is the planning of it.
Yeah.
But also, I think sometimes I'm just done. Like, it doesn't matter if I think I want to leave at 10. Like, I might actually want to leave at 9:30. And like, I need to leave because my anxiety is like, I got to get out of here. Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
So it's,
I mean, no, I'm with you. I feel it. I feel that. And so like, I have never done the full blown Irish exit. I at least do the big, like you did, like the big wave. I at least shout goodbye at the room, right? Like if everyone doesn't hear me, that's on them. I can at least feel good about saying the goodbye,
make eye contact with
several people, at least a handful of people see you leaving.
Each other.
Exactly. And so then, and then I feel like it's okay, but I feel you. It's, sometimes it's just time to go. And I think the good news is that most people understand.
Yes.
At least people in our generation. I won't speak to like my parents' age and, but like, and warriors, if, you have a different experience, let us know, reach out. I'd love to hear what it is and how you handle it. But I feel like people in our generation and younger kind of maybe more okay with like each individual's unique need to meet or goodbye in a specific way.
Right. All behavior is communicating something, right? And so for me, if someone left, right, where we didn't have like a official or proper goodbye, like maybe I'm hosting something or whatever and someone left and we didn't say goodbye, right? I wouldn't, again, I might be disappointed, like, oh, I didn't get to say goodbye, but I would definitely not be offended. I'd be like, they needed to get out of here. They had something else going on, right? Like, it's like, you never know why. So I'm not going to take it personal. It had nothing to do with me.
I like that. It's like, you don't know why someone's pieced out.
Yeah.
So like maybe even if you feel like your instinct is to be upset or to judge or whatever.
Yeah.
Ponder on that maybe, right? It's like some of our own reactivity maybe obviously is valid, right? Like we're all allowed to feel the disappointment or maybe even the sadness or like a tinge of like, that wasn't so great. I would, that seemed rude or whatever. But then like, can you take the opportunity to pause on why you're reacting that way? Is it because you were raised in an environment where that was unacceptable? Is it because you take it, you're the kind of person that takes something like that personally? And so like, it might just be an interesting exercise for all of you warriors listening, right? To sort of think about your own reactivity to how people choose or may need to leave a situation in their own way. And it's like, can we navigate being okay with it, even if it makes us uncomfortable?
Yeah. So speaking of uncomfortable, so like you're at a small event, right? People you like know, maybe there's some you don't know, right? And someone goes in for a hug when you were not planning to do a hug. What do you do?
I give the hug.
Yeah, me too.
I don't reject a hug, even if I want to. I then do my best to, I'm able to quickly think on my feet in terms of what kind of hug it's going to be though.
Yeah.
And it's very rare when I've had a person who's just like literally grabs me and pulls me to them in that way. Usually it's just like a light hug. You kind of just quick go in, pat on the back and you move on with life. It's like, I am a hugger, right? And so like, if I feel connected to a person, even in a short time, I do like hugs. And so if they reach for a hug, I'm usually more than happy and willing to give it back. And I don't know, I've just gotten lucky that for the most part, people that I feel like aren't huggers make it obvious, right? Or if we didn't really chat at all, like if I didn't really talk, if I was introduced to you, but then we didn't have a conversation all night, I'm not going to go hug you, right? And I would assume that you're not going to hug me,
right?
If we literally only said one word to each other all night, then like that's sort of implied.
You get the wave.
Right. And it's implied, like there's nothing wrong with like, oh, okay, that's a correct response to the level of communication that we had during this event. Yeah.
So do you have a go-to greeting in situations where you don't know people that well at the beginning? Like maybe you hug them goodbye.
Yeah. For me, it's if I'm meeting someone for the first time, it's either like a hey, so nice to meet you, right? So it's a wave, eye contact, smile.
Yeah.
Or it's a handshake.
It is. See, ever since COVID, handshakes just fucking gross me out, man.
Yeah, they don't bother me.
I don't want to be the weirdo fist bumper, right? Like
it's not weird anymore, though. People, that's like normal. It's like the other handshake. Unless you're doing it to an older now, and this is where my like generational, and I know it's all bullshit, but in my own head, it's like if I'm meeting someone that's over 50, I'm not going to go for a fist. Well, fist bumps feel unnatural to me, so I would never do that. But like if it felt safer, right, or less germy than a handshake, if I could imagine having those feelings, right, I guess I would be more worried about it if I had to be greeting physically someone that was over 50, right? But if it's like anyone my age or younger or around our age, I think it's normal. Just, you make it obvious that that's the way that your preference, but for you, it's no hands. And so I think that like, if you were to just be like, hey, right? Like, and like, you can't see us warriors.
Jazz hands.
Times now, Abby and I have just kind of like opened our arms with big palms out to each other. And it's
I'm
like
friendly, but I don't want to touch you hands.
And that's okay too. I feel like I would genuinely appreciate the boundary setting, because at the end of the day, I don't believe anyone wants to make other people uncomfortable. And so I always feel safer when people put up a boundary, because boundaries make me feel safe.
Right. Because it
protects
the
everyone.
Yeah.
And so I think it's smart if you tell people, I'm not up for handshakes, but I'm so excited to meet you all. Like that to me feels really good, because it's now I know what this person wants and doesn't want.
Yeah. I just compromise my needs and shake hands and then find my antibacterial.
Oh,
yeah. But it's different with kids, like flat off the bat. Like kids, handshake, high five, hug.
That's
COVID,
so interesting.
Pre-COVID, post-COVID. I mean, they're fucking.
Why is that?
But I don't know. They're kids. They're less. They're
way germier than the
grown-ups.
They're all gross. All human beings.
They're different. They're different because
it's how you feel. Less about germs, and it's about your love and your love for them. It's different.
Yes. Yeah. And they're just like unassuming. They haven't learned like, I mean, maybe I should teach them. Maybe I should.
So you don't reject.
No.
That's interesting. So like I kind of do that randomly with my niece. Right. And that's why I'm always constantly trying to do better about practicing consent with like little people in my life that I love and that I always want to squeeze. Like, I'm obsessed with my niece and nephew. They're like the cutest human beings on planet Earth. And so like, I want to squeeze them when I see them. And sometimes I just kind of like go in for the hug without even asking or thinking about it. So I'm trying to be more mindful about like, can I have a hug? Right. Or not even, would you like a hug? Or I'll just state my feeling. I'd like to give you a hug and just see what happens. And then always reminder, it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Right. But even if you love someone, you may not want that physical love from them in that moment. And so just trying to remember that like, maybe I don't want to be hugged. And so like saying, I love you so much. I don't feel interested in a hug right now. I feel like it is important for kids to learn that like, just because they want to hug doesn't mean that they get it all the time from everyone. And it doesn't mean that you're not loved anymore by a person.
Right. I think if I was like with these kids more often, like the kids that I'm thinking about, I'm like with them once a week for like, 7-8 weeks. And then some different kids come in. So it's like, all right, like if they feel comfortable enough to want to hug me within a 7-week period, I'm not going to talk about all that.
I always accept the hug.
Yeah.
Too. If a kid goes to hug me, I'm always hugging them back.
Yeah. But in other situations with kids that I know well, it's definitely more of a teaching boundaries and consent, because we just don't know who wants to be touched and who doesn't want to be touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I love it. And I love offering options to kids too.
Yes.
Right. It's like, I'd love to greet you. Right. Do you want eye contact and a wave? Like, here are 3 choices. What do you think of any one of these? You let me know, right? What you prefer. I think these are like important life skills that like when we talked about no rules, it's like a fucking free for all out there. It's like maybe we can start creating at least the permission structure to let people know what you like and don't like.
Right. Because it's probably the people that aren't even thinking about rules or greetings or anyone. And then they get to be the dominant person and they don't know how they're impacting everyone. Right. Like,
That's true.
Yeah. It's just like, let's be a little bit more considerate about how people want to greet, because probably the people that feel a little bit less comfortable with greetings and goodbyes are the ones that are going to compromise themselves to let the more dominant non-thinkers do their thing.
That's true. Or the loudest people, right? They're the ones that
Yeah.
tend to get they get what they want kind of situation. Or
Yeah.
they're used to it, or they're used to the attention, or being the one to drive the situation. So it's like practicing advocating for what you want in a situation that's involving a greeting or a salutation or goodbye.
Yeah.
Super interesting. So warriors, what do you think? What do you think about greetings and goodbyes? Is this an area that you've literally never thought about before a moment in your life, and now you're thinking about it? Or maybe it plagues you all the time and you're just like, I can totally relate. Or I'm sure you got a million of those weird or awkward stories swimming around in your mind.
Yeah.
Maybe take
How
a
many
minute.
times have like you gone in for a hug and someone went in for a handshake, or vice versa? It's so awkward. I mean, it's only a millisecond, but in that millisecond, it's so cringe.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Things can get really weird in just a millisecond.
Yeah.
A lot of things can go on in a moment. So maybe take some time to think about what your preferences are. Maybe make a list, write them down. If you are in situations frequently or even infrequently where you're having to greet new people, what are your go-tos? What makes you feel comfortable and safe? Maybe even start taking notice of what other people's like body language is like, right? And if that's not something you're used to practicing, it might be at the very least like something fun for you to explore for yourself, like noticing people's social cues and maybe adopting some of them for yourself. And like if boundary setting and creating creating the space to say, hey, I like to be greeted like this. I like to say goodbye like this, or please don't take offense if I peace out. Sometimes my anxiety barometer goes up or my social spoons are gone, or like whatever the situation. If you're uncomfortable with that, can you slowly practice getting more comfortable with that? Because at the end of the day, you're a person too, and you deserve to be handled physically or non-physically in any way that feels safe and good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're not rude if you just need to go.
No. And if you're a person that's hosting something and you do think it's not great for people not to say goodbye to you, just say, no Irish goodbyes, please. Even if you just, make sure we catch eye contact and wave, or send me a message if you weren't able to find me, like say something to me in some form of communication.
Right. So I know you're okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay if you're the host and you have needs too. And you want, that's totally acceptable.
All have needs. We just need to figure out how our needs and their needs and all our needs can work together.
That's right. And maybe we start that little rule book about goodbyes and hellos.
Yeah. And it's a very individual one. It'll be like
very
own
sandwich boards.
List.
I'm here for like make your own t-shirt that says, don't touch me. Please, no handshakes.
How many times have we met?
Right.
Do you get the vibe that I really like you? Because if so, let's give each other a squeeze.
Maybe you're just a good actress, though.
Even sometimes like arm squeezes, like sometimes like when I know someone and I don't want to hug them, but I'm really happy to see them, I want to like give them an arm squeeze. Maybe they don't want an arm squeeze, I
don't want an arm squeeze. Just put that out there.
I feel like I might have arm squeezed you.
You have.
Saw you. Yeah. That's my channeling of love. See, I didn't know that. This is why we need to make
I only thought about it when you just reminded me that it's happened a couple of times. And it's not a big deal enough for me to have been like in the moment, like, hey, never do that again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And because we have a relationship.
Right.
But there isn't anything wrong with talking about it now. Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
Now, you just reminded me of that. Cool. We're having this conversation. I'd prefer a hug. If you don't want to give me a hug, that's okay. You can just go ahead and don't squeeze my arm.
Yeah. See?
Right.
Here
you go. It's like,
I'm not offended that you don't like my arm squeezes. I just didn't know.
I know that they're meant with love.
Right. See, right? I love how we just had this conversation.
I know. I really do too. It's perfect. And I would expect that if I ever greeted you in a way that made you uncomfortable, that you would tell me.
Right. But again, we're like, oh, we haven't seen each other in so long. Like,
of course.
Yeah. But we can apply this to many other
Yeah.
Not just
but
us,
it just goes to
but-
it just goes to show that two people that have been friends and close for a really long time can still have something to learn about each other.
Right.
And can figure out like, oh, maybe in that moment, my friend didn't love that, but it wasn't a big enough of a deal to say anything about it. And it was over in a microsecond or whatever. And so you just move on, and it's not right. It doesn't weigh on I haven't been thinking about it for months.
Right.
Like, oh, I really hated that arm squeeze.
I
From
can't
Abby.
greet Abby again. I need to hide my arms. Like,
and I don't even know what it is. I don't like the act of squeezing that feels like, what's the word?
Love. It feels like
Localized?
love.
No, sure. Localized, like meaning it's on one part of the body. Like a hug, a full squeeze feels good. It feels normal. Again, with a trusted person that I love and want to be hugged by.
Right.
But
no,
like
open hug, Margot. Don't do that.
Like grabbing a person by a certain part of their body and actually squeezing that place, that makes me uncomfortable. Right. And so but I hadn't even thought about it. Right. And so it's just the little things, warriors, that you don't even think about. And I'm sure that there are maybe people listening, people in my life that are like, oh, I really don't like when you do that. And maybe they're going to tell me now, and I can't wait to hear it. Right. Because at the end of the day, I think we all want to be able to make our people comfortable and greet new people in a way that feels like universally safe. Yeah. Always start with what's universally safe. Nothing's ununiversal about waving and saying hello. Right. Like, wave, smile, say hello. If you don't want to smile, don't smile, but just acknowledge a little head nod, right? These are safe ways to greet a person if you don't know them. And if you know them, maybe ask. Maybe this is a great jumping off point to ask, how do you like to be greeted by people, or me specifically?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Such an important conversation.
It's a good icebreaker too. If you're feeling social anxiety, just come right out, right to the core. Hey, I overthink greetings. How does everyone like to be greeted here?
Yeah. And everyone, I'm sure, will be lightly grateful, even if they don't say it out loud, or even if they don't think about it in the moment, because you are breaking the fourth wall by saying that, right? You are taking away the anxiety that anyone else in that space might be feeling by saying that. So like, it's a gift that you're offering people, truly. Yeah.
I'd be like, you look clean. I can touch you. You're coughing. Don't come near me.
Fuck off. Here's a plate glass around me.
You remind me of my friend Margot, so I'm gonna arm squeeze you, but only if you say
see what happens. See what happens. See, then I'm gonna read your facial expressions and see if you were okay with that arm squeeze or not.
But it's coming from a place of love because you remind me of someone I love.
And you know what? Knowing though that the arm squeeze is meant as like a true channeling of love makes me feel better about it.
Not everyone
that
gets
it isn't
arm
just
squeezes.
Like good to know people. If you know Abby out there and you never had your arm squeezed, you may need to reevaluate your relationship.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
I feel honored then. I take it back. Arm squeeze me all you want.
No,
you're the only person. You're the only listening now. You're the only person that's allowed to squeeze a localized part of my body as a form of greeting.
And I will try to stop the impulsivity of excitement and love at seeing you and give you a full body hug. So we'll both work on it.
Full body hug. It just sounded weird. It's like a hug is a hug, not a full body hug. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Full body hug. That's a new shirt. No, it's not. Take it back. Nope. Immediate take back.
That'd be awful greetings.
We have, I think, my very favorite shared win of the week. Ever. Today. Like, best. Okay, Abby, give all the warriors the skinny on this win of the week for both of us.
Yes. So we have two super fans. We have more than two, but I know these two super fans very well. They might be my mom and my aunt.
Maybe.
And they maybe were together recently. And they maybe thought it would be fun if they made their own podcast. Boomer Warriors. And they maybe were inspired by a lot of our episodes in creating their short version of the Boomer Warrior podcast.
It's only a couple of minutes, and it is the best couple of minutes that I've heard in like forever. Honestly. Yeah. When you shared this audio file with me, there was no context.
Yeah.
And so I listened to this through what you're about to hear, Warriors, and it made me smile from ear to ear. It made me laugh so hard out loud. Adam was with me. We were both hysterically laughing, like just the level of, and I just felt so grateful. The level of care and love and like writing and scripting that went into these couple of minutes of audio just filled my cup so freaking much. Like it is the best. Aunt Shari and Mom Fran, thank you so much for this like couple of minutes of pure joy. It made my whole day and week that when you had sent that to me a while back. But
yeah, and it was their first take, so y'all are going to hear their first take.
So good
on Boomer Warrior podcast.
Yes, enjoy.
Yeah,
enjoy. It's the best ever.
Hey all, welcome to the Boomer Warriors podcast. We're your hosts, Shari
and Fran. We are sisters, mothers, boomers, but above all, we are tired and on a mission to raise awareness and understanding of how tired you get when you get old.
If you're seeking a place to laugh, pee in your pants, and whine, your old boomer sisters are here for you.
Join us as we navigate back pain, the stairs, and technology.
Welcome, Boomer Warriors.
Yay!
You mean woohoo?
No, Shari. Yay. Lightning round. Okay, Shari, we both grew up loving West Side Story and Bye Bye Birdie. So, Shari, for lightning round, I'm going to ask you to sing a few lines of your favorite song from Evita.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you.
Ah, mashallah. I love that.
Okay, Fran, for your lightning round question, remember when we went to the Beatles concert at Shea Stadium?
I sure do.
So your question is, if you were able to hear one of the songs without all the screaming, which song would you have wished you could have heard?
I wish I could have heard any song, and I wish Dad didn't threaten to take us home if we continued screaming. We were the only girls not screaming in the whole stadium. Okay, Shari, do you have a win of the week?
Win of the week! Win of the week! Win of the week! I have a small win and a big win.
Tell me your small win first.
My small win was the Duke Lax finally worked.
Full body chills. Now, what's your big win?
I'm going to Italy. Arrivederci.
E magnifico. I love that. A double win. Okay, Boomer Warriors. Thanks so much for listening. If you want to connect with us for any reason, talk about life as a boomer, go to our MySpace or Facebook account. Take 2 seconds and smash a 5-star review by leaving a message on our answering machine. And go to our merch shop and get yourself some tie-dye, hot pants, or bell-bottoms with our logo on it. You can even get hash pipes, bongs, and frisbees with our logo on it.
Yes. Thank you so much for going on this journey with us. We are so tired of doing this with you all. Till next time.
Oh my gosh. I want to listen to that over and over again forever.
They need to make more episodes.
Right?
Yeah.
And they all need to be like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. It's perfect.
It's absolutely perfect. They are the cutest things ever. It was so sweet and funny. I'm literally over the moon once again listening to it. Thank you both so much to our super fans who may be members of Abby's family.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Thank you both. Thank you, Warriors, for being with us, for listening again this week. If you'd like to connect with us for any reason, you can join our Instagram family. We are at Anxiety Warriors Podcast. Or you can feel free to shoot us an email at anxietywarriorspodcast@gmail.com. You can shout out your wins of the week, share topic ideas with us. You can send us audio files of you doing your own mini anxiety warrior type podcast. So maybe we can share it as another win for us. Or if you think you'd be a great fit as a guest on our show, Anxiety Warriors, not Boomer Warriors, you can let us know. We'd love to get your interview scheduled and help share your story with all of our amazing warrior listeners. Please take a couple of seconds and smash that 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or wherever you're tuning in. Please be sure to follow the show on any of those platforms, all of those platforms, please. Yes, please. So you never miss an episode. And please drop us a review. Haven't kind of asked for those in a while. Ratings are great. We'll take them, but reviews mean so much to us. They mean so much more too for people that are maybe looking for anxiety podcasts out there. So they can hopefully find our little show. And also you can jump on into our show notes and click our Threadless shop. Our merch link is up there and we are selling some fabulous goodies for spring. So grab yourself something fun.
Yes. Spring into spring with some Anxiety Warrior merch.
I like it. Spring's flinging.
Yeah. Bling it up. Okay, no.
What else rhymes with fling and spring and bling? Swing.
Swing. Yes.
Swing.
Thank you all so much for going on this journey with us. We are so grateful to get to do this with you all.
Until next time.